Okay, let's get right into it. There's a new term bubbling up in the tech world that is becoming a really big deal, especially if you're just starting your career. It's called vibe coding. And today, we're going to break down what it is, why it's such a dangerous trap, and most importantly, how you can avoid it.
Wow. A career-ending trap. That's a pretty heavy statement, isn't it? The risk here is so real because it's quiet, it's subtle. On the surface, it looks like you're being super productive, but underneath, you're actually hollowing out the skills you desperately need for a long-lasting career.
So, first things first, what are we even talking about here? What exactly is vibe coding? It's more than just using AI to help you out with your work. It's a very specific, kind of passive way of using it that feels like a brilliant shortcut. And this right here is the absolute key. That phrase, without fully understanding, that's what turns a powerful tool into a huge problem. Think of it like this. It's the difference between using a calculator for math you already know how to do versus using one when you have absolutely no idea what multiplication even is. The process itself it's incredibly simple, and that's what makes it so seductive, right? You have a general idea, a vibe. You describe that vibe to the AI, it spits out the code, you copy-paste it, and boom, task complete. It feels fast, it feels efficient, and for a little while, it actually seems to work. And that leads us straight into the trap. The short-term wins from vibe coding are so good, they create this illusion of competence that can fool not only your boss, but it can even fool you. And this is exactly why it's so tempting. A junior employee can suddenly start cranking out work, closing tickets, and shipping features at the same pace as someone with years of experience. From the outside, it looks like you've got a total rock star on your team, but that high output is just masking a growing, dangerous skills gap.
So there's a number that matters here. 18 months. According to the research, about a year and a half in is the point where the problems really start to show. It's the point where that lack of foundational learning finally catches up to you, and your skills, which should have been growing this whole time, have just completely flatlined.
And this is where you really see the trade-off, laid out plain and simple. You're basically trading a long-term, durable career for some short-term praise. Suddenly you can't debug your own work because, you never truly understood it in the first place. You can't advance to more complex problems because you're missing the mental framework. You're just stuck.
So for a year, maybe a year and a half, everything seems totally fine. You're getting good reviews, you feel super productive, but eventually a situation is going to come up where the AI can't help you, and that whole illusion just shatters. So when does this gap, this difference between what you seem to know and what you really know, finally become obvious? It happens when the stakes get high.
And these are those moments of truth. You can't just vibe your way through a tough job interview. You can't ask an AI to explain your big architectural decisions to a senior colleague. And when a truly new, tricky problem pops up, the vibe coder has absolutely nothing to fall back on.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a serious one. But the good news here is that the solution is actually pretty straightforward. It's all about shifting your mindset on how you use these incredibly powerful AI tools.
It really all boils down to this. Are you using AI instead of building a skill, or are you using it to amplify a skill that you are actively trying to develop? From the outside, they can look almost identical, but one of these paths leads to stagnation, and the other leads to durable, real, long-term career value.
This is the core principle you have to remember. AI amplifies. It doesn't create from scratch. If you have genuine skill, AI makes you better. It makes you faster. It makes you more effective. If you don't have that skill, AI just makes your lack of skill invisible for a while. It just amplifies what's already there.
This is probably the single most practical piece of advice in this whole thing. Every time you get a response from an AI, just pause for a second. Ask yourself that one simple question: could I have produced this on my own? If the answer is no, your job isn't done. Your next step is to stop and learn. Figure out the logic, understand the syntax, and actually internalize the concept. Yeah, it's slower at first, but this is how you build real, lasting skill. Okay, so let's make this totally concrete. We're going to end with a really clear, actionable assignment you can do right now to test your own understanding and start building that career durability today. So here's your homework. If you're a junior worker, I want you to take one piece of code you got from an AI recently and rewrite it completely from scratch. You'll immediately find the gaps in your knowledge. And if you're a senior worker or a manager, your job is to check for understanding. Don't just look at the output. Ask your junior colleagues to walk you through their work. That conversation, that's where real mentorship and real learning happens.
And this is the final thought I want to leave you with. Look, the temptation to just vibe your way through the first couple years of your career is huge. But the hard work you put in now to genuinely understand your craft, that doesn't just pay off next year. It compounds over your entire working life. It creates a foundation that no new piece of technology can ever take away from you.